Hey everybody, this is Matt and we're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for watching. This is the second video in our series about what to expect when you get your replacement neck. And it doesn't matter if you get it from us or you get it from one of our industry partners like Bitterroot Guitars or, you know, craptastic eBay necks like that. Doesn't really matter. We're going to show you kind of what you can do to make the neck play great. So in the first video we talked about initial inspection and even if you want to keep the neck. And in this video what we're going to do is we are going to level the frets and dress the frets and polish and buff and shine, clean and shine, clean and shine. So this neck is going out to my homeboy Devin. This is something that we do on all of our necks anyway, so he won't have to. But anywhere else that you get your neck from, it's not a bad idea to just go ahead and do it. Now, if you get a neck from eBay, don't even bother checking it. Just start leveling it because they're going to be wrong. Okay, so let's enough of the bullshit talk. Let's jump right in. So the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to tape off the fretboard and protect the wood because we're going to be filing and we're going to be removing material from the frets, and that's going to get little metal specks of cootie in the fretboard, and we don't want that, especially if we have a finished maple fretboard. We don't want any crap getting in the clear coat. Right? All right, so let's jump right in. So what we are going to do is we are going to mask the fretboard and protect it while we are doing a little bit of metal work. So the way I do it is I like to get some of this blue tape and I put the tape edge right up against the fret edge. Now that's perfect on the first and last fret, but what about the ones in the middle? Now what I like to do is I like to kind of get a bunch of it on there. And that's probably enough for demonstration purposes, right? Make sure to save the extra tape on your shirt. So get it on there and really work it into the edge of the fret with your thumbnail. Or if you have to use a tool, you have to use a tool. Now I need to find a razor blade because, okay. So then just very lightly take a brand new extra sharp razor blade and run it along the edge that you just made, and you will expose the frets. And they'll be perfect every time. Now, if you're really frugal, you can use this extra leftover bit of tape and come down here and use it on the high end because we got to do in between all of the frets. So let me show you that one more time and then we'll switch to super high speed. Really work that edge in with your thumb or get a tool and scratch it in there. If you have a calibrated thumb like I do though, it's extra easy. And then run your razor blade along there. Peel it back and then make sure to remember to reuse this piece. You can even reuse it in a spot that, all right, looking good. Let's finish them up. All right, our board is all masked off and is looking good. Don't tell Chris I'm about to tell you this, but sometimes what he likes to do is run a piece of tape all along the edge on both sides before he masks the top, and then that way he can pull the tape off all in one shot. If you spend a lot of time buffing these, it's possible to burn through this edge, and having an extra piece of tape there really goes a long way to helping you do the job and peel the tape off effectively. Tape everywhere, which way? Tape. Okay, this particular technique is something that I have discovered kind of stymies a lot of guys when they first try it. And I see big gaps in the in between the fret and the board where there's no tape. So if just kind of work at it, you'll get better at it, and it's a cool thing to do. So tape is applied, ready for action. Okay, if you have a tool like the fret rocker from Stu Mac, now would be a good time to use it. You can, kind of go around and test all your frets. Because these frets are brand new, I'm not even gonna bother with these guys. I'm just gonna jump right into the leveling process. And for that, you can use any number of things. I'm gonna use this block that we ran over. It's a piece of hard rock maple, and we ran it over the joiner, so it's got 2 flat edges. And it's got 320 and 220 paper on it. I'm just going to run this down the fretboard and level all the frets. Let me make sure I'm going to use the rough side first. There we go. Sometimes I like to concentrate a little bit down on the heel end. Put a little bit of a fall off there. I'm not pressing really hard, so I'm not worried about the neck flexing in the middle. A lot of guys have those, those sleds that support the neck. Those are really cool, but we don't use them. Mostly because we don't work with a lot with old guitars. We're dealing with new stuff. That actually looks pretty good. I can see where the frets all have a little bit of I just kissed the tops, and so now they each have they're all the same height, and that is totally rad. Now we're going to mark them, and the reason we're going to mark them will become very clear here in just a second. Some of you already know why. One of the more popular videos that we've ever done was the video that I made about the Stu Mac Z file. I like the Z file for crowning frets rather than the old school, let me get that in the camera, the old school style. The Z file has, well, it looks like a Z instead of a C. Does that make sense? The nice thing about the Z file is it allows you to just take off one side without the potential of grinding down the fret too much in one spot. If you go to the Stu Mac website, you can learn all about the Z file, or you can go find that video that I did. I think it's called the file that's all action, or some ridiculous title like that. You know how I do it. There's a guy, I don't know where he's from, and he makes this device that's very much like this called the Katana, I think. Now, I have not used the Katana. I'm sure it's wonderful. I don't know who came up with the idea first, and I don't care. I do not have a dog in the hunt of who invented the Z file or who didn't invent the Z file or who came up with the idea of an angly fret crowning file thing. So if you're that guy and don't send me any more emails about, hey, have I ever seen the Katana? Hey, who'd you get I got it from Stu Mac. They sold it. I don't have any, I'm not invested in Stu Mac. I know some guys there and they're all cool to me. I'm sure you're cool too. I had to buy this. I paid money for this. So anyway, enough with that. Let's go ahead and start working these frets down. Okay, so all the frets have a flat spot on them, and what we're going to do now is recrown the fret. So we will use the Z file to basically make all but the finest little line of guide ink go away. So they're going to look a little like this one and a little less like this one. All right, let's do them. Okay, on the very last fret, I always like to use the regular fret crowning file, and I go until all of the line disappears, because I don't care if it's lower than all the other frets. In fact, I kind of want it to be. The last thing that we're going to do when it comes to metalwork, as in terms of removing material, is we're going to use a sheet of 320 paper, and we're going to work it up and down the fretboard and get a bunch of the scratches out. if there are any. I have it on good authority that the guys at Hamer used to do this instead of using the fret crowning file. In fact, I've even seen pictures of them doing this on a palm sander. They'll take and palm sand all these frets. And so we're using 320. We're not really worried about taking off that much material. I always like to hit the edge a little bit, because why not, right? Some guys freak out when I do this. And to them I say, stop freaking out. All right, good to go. Okay, I have relocated to where my fret polishing grinder attachment is, and we are going to we're going to do some Scotch-Brite, and then we're going to polish the frets, and they're going to look marvelous. But let's recap. So what we've done so far is we've taped off the fretboard to protect it. We've leveled the frets. We've recrowned the frets, and then we kind of went over it with some 320 and sanded it smooth to get rid of any scratches that might be there, because we don't want to have scratches in our frets. The nice thing about doing this with a neck that you made or a neck that I made when I'm doing it is I can control what the fretboard looks like before the frets get pressed in. So these necks come off of our sanding jig, and they're nice and flat where they need to be flat and radius where they need to be radius. We press the frets in with an arbor press. We don't beat them in with a hammer. So there's very, very little fret work that needs to get done to one of our necks. Or if you're making it, you can take the time to do it right too. But anyway, so I'll show you the difference when we do that other craptastic neck, which we'll do as part of this series. So anyway, let's give this guy a hit with the Scotch-Brite wheel, and then we'll polish it, and they're going to look really, really good. Okay, now the frets look super duper. I know that all my machinist buddies are watching that, and they're like, hey, don't get your hair caught in the grinder, and hey, you shouldn't be wearing long sleeves when you're doing that. And to them I say, you are right. So guys, careful when you're using polishers and grinders, and especially if you have long hair or long beards or long sleeves. Gosh, I guess this is one of those things where the safety guys are probably right. So do as they say, not as Matt does. But anyway, here's another thing that we like to do is clean up all of the polishing gype. See, look what it's going to look like here. I got a all more or less clean towel, and I'm going to wipe off the frets, and see, there's some black pooty on there. And we want to get all of the polishing stuff off before we move to the next step, which is going to be, normally it would be just cleaning off the tape and removing the tape, but because this neck needs a nut, we're going to leave the tape on the headstock side. But let's peel some of this back, and I'll show you kind of what it looks like on the heel end, and you can go ooh, ah. So that is what the fret looks like against the wood. There's still some more stuff that we have to kind of clean up. But yeah, get a load of that. Okay, let's go ahead and wrap this video up, and we'll pick up where we left off in the next video. You'll be able to tell by my shirt that I'm just doing it all at once, and I'm releasing the videos in every couple days or so that you guys don't get totally bored with this process. So, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, why don't you go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you appreciate content like this, you might want to go over to our Patreon page and consider becoming a member. Even $1 a month goes a long way to helping us bring you guys cool content like this. But if you can't do Patreon, we totally understand. Share this video as many places as you can think of and help us grow the channel that-a-wise. As always, if you have any questions for me about what we did in this video, leave them in the comment section below, or you can send me an email to texastoastguitars.com. If this video is going too fast for you and you want to really, really deep dive into all things associated with getting your neck set up and playing great, make plans to attend one of our classes, and you'll find the classes in the on the website as well. So until next time, this is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you that if you're so smart, build it yourself. That's what I do. Thanks for watching, everybody.
I wanna play my guitar the only way I